which dynasty was better? The Lakers three-peat with Kobe and Shaq, or the Warriors with 4 rings? Who had the better dynasty? But before I get into which team would win and all of this, I just want to know who was more talented. Fluent, I'm going to start with you.
Lakers three-peat. They went through a playoffs, lost one game. That team was the 03 Lakers. No one's beating that team, or 01 Lakers, whatever. No one's beating that team. No one's beating that Laker team. Lakers three-peat. Because you know what the Lakers did that the Warriors couldn't do? Won 3 in a row.
Talk to us, Chill.
That's simple for me also. I think it's the Lakers. They were the most talented team. Add that to the fact that group was together. Robert Horry, Shaq, Kobe Bryant, Derek Fisher, Rick Fox, Bryant Shaw. Just those 5. Just those 5. Take Bryant Shaw off the table. Just those 5. They were together 7 years. When you build that kind of camaraderie, when you build that kind of chemistry, there's no reason why you're not going to start. Once you figure it out, you're not going to start steamrolling teams. And then they started rotating guys who stayed on the unit, like Devin George and Bryant Shaw, and then Samaki Walker, and bringing in guys like that. That Laker team was they were a half a mile freight train with no brakes. In my opinion, I think that was the most talented of the two, no doubt.
Okay, Elder Rufus, which dynasty is better out of these two, the Warriors or the Lakers?
I'm definitely in agreement that the Lakers was. Three-peating is just much harder. Anyways, they didn't have to add no superstar player to their team, no top player in the game to keep their thing going. And then another thing I agree with everything the two brothers said. The 15-1 and the talent that they had to be able to keep them together, no doubt, the camaraderie. But even in their superstars, they didn't like each other, but they were extremely professional when it came to winning basketball games. And I respect that out of them. So I definitely would say the Lakers three-peat was much harder to do than what the Golden State did. I respect that more.
Yo, Ticket, which team is more talented? The three-peat Lakers or the Warriors that won 4 championships?
I'm going to say it like this, and I'm going to answer your question. If LeBron wins, everybody say, hey, man, LeBron's the greatest. Look what he did with Russ. Look what he did with his Lakers team. He's 38 years old. They get all the credit when they win. Give them the blame when they lose. The Lakers team was the better team because the Golden State Warriors ain't three-peat. They almost did, but they didn't. No cigar.
And for everybody in the chat who's saying KD was only there for 2 of them.
Yeah.
Keep that. Remember that.
Mm-hmm. 3 years, 2 chips.
Make sure that we remember too, Rufus, because I have to deal with this dude. This dude down on the bottom is the consummate Laker fan. I got to deal with him on a regular. So I have to absolutely know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the Lakers. I mean, like I said, that Laker team, they were a half a mile freight train with no brakes. In 2001, when Kobe and Shaq got into it, and I understand why they got into it, because Shaq came into camp out of shape. Shaq was looking at Kobe like, I got another guy that I can just hand the ball, but he still wanted to be the man. Kobe was looking at it like, listen, man, I'm coming to work every day. I'm ready to roll. You need to be ready to roll, and you're not, but you want the responsibility of being the man. So they eventually got that thing figured out. We're talking about a team that went 15-1 in the playoffs, undefeated on the road in the playoffs. That hasn't been done before they did it.
And let's be honest,
it hasn't been done since they did it.
Why did they lose that one game? Game 1 of the final.
And the one game that they lost, to Philadelphia. The one game that they lost to Philadelphia, they had 10 days off. And the Philadelphia 76ers beat Milwaukee in Game 7. Milwaukee lose to Philadelphia in Game 7 on Sunday. Game 1 is on Wednesday. Rufus, who would you rather fight? Would you rather fight somebody that's been sitting around or somebody who just got whooping somebody's ass? Because I'll tell you who I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight the dude who just got off with somebody. The dude that's been sitting around, I'm good with him because I think that I could rough him up. And that's what happened with the Lakers. And once that happened, they ended up steamrolled Philadelphia. And then the same thing went on the next year. The same exact thing went on the next year. And when I think about that Los Angeles Lakers team, we're talking about Kobe and Shaq, who were also first team All-NBA. Both of those two dudes together. KD and Kyrie Irving never made first. KD and Steph Curry in their reign, in their 3 years, did not make first team All-NBA. And Kobe Bryant and Shaq were all-league defenders too. That never happened with the Lakers. I'm sorry.
It's ironic you got so much praise for Kobe. But where do you have Kobe ranked all time? Because I heard you got him kind of low, but you just gave him a whole lot of praise.
Well, he got him lower than I like.
Just because whoa, stop right there. Just because I like a dude and just because I can recognize somebody's greatness, that doesn't mean that the people that I have ahead of him aren't legit. My
Where do you
top,
have him all time?
I got him at 11, right outside the
What?
top 10.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. I got him at 11, right outside the top 10. My
Y'all
top
team
10
was
all
so
time.
undisputed,
My top 10 all time: James, Jordan, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Russell, Magic, Bird, Duncan, Olajuwon, Diesel. That's my top 10. And I got Kobe Bryant right on the other side of that, looking right on the other side of that. Now, does that mean he wasn't awesome? Absolutely, he was. He was absolutely awesome. I just think that the guys in front of him were just a little bit more.
Chill. Kobe did more than Hakeem in his second career. In his second
That's
half
not
of
true.
his
That's not true.
Lakers.
That
Hold
is
on.
not
He
true.
got two finals MVPs. Hakeem got 2 chips when Jordan was retired.
So,
Remember that.
so
Hakeem only won because Mike Jordan was retired.
that's not true.
Kobe
That's not
Bryant
true.
ran away from Shaq. He wasn't gonna beat Jordan.
That's not true. That's
He
not
wasn't gonna
true.
beat Jordan.
I'm glad you brought that up, Ticket. I'm glad you brought that. I'm glad you brought that up, Ticket. You being the consummate Jordan guy. You also talking to another Jordan guy, and Michael Jordan made it clear to the reporter in Houston after they lost to the Rockets for the 5th time in 6 years. He said to him, "Quote: It's a good thing that they can't ever get out of the West." Why is that? Because we got no answer for that monster that they got.
You can't trust.
They had no answer.
This is what Jordan
They
said.
had no answer for Mike.
They beat them 5 times in 6 tries. That's number one. That's number one. They beat them.
When the money's on the wood, I'm rolling with Mike.
And I tell you one thing.
You didn't bring up the regular season.
And I will tell you this. I don't think Michael Jordan loses one day of sleep knowing that he ain't have to see Olajuwon in the finals. I don't think he loses a day of sleep because of that. So you could talk that cat nonsense all you want.
Olajuwon did say the same thing about Jordan.
He did say the same thing about him.
But use it against it that he said, "Oh, it's a good thing they can't get out of the West."
Just a mutual respect, man. What else you gonna say?
I never heard I heard Olajuwon say that Jordan was great. I never heard him say he didn't want to. I never heard him say he didn't want to see him. I bet you that. I'd like to hear that. I would absolutely like to hear that.
So back to your question, Ron. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Fluent. It's on you, Fluent.
Yeah, it's on you, Tone.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, back to because I'm seeing the chat where like they have no answer for KD. Who's the answer for Shaq? Who's the answer for Kobe? Like, they have no answer for KD.
There had a lot of guys that throw at KD. There had a ton of guys that throw at KD.
Who's going to stop them?
Hold up. Let him go.
We got 2 guys in Shaq and Kobe that are, with one exception, who has them at 11, 2 top 10 players against 2 guys who aren't top 10. Like, give me a break here, guys.
Hey, Fluent. And Kobe, and they say Kobe got locked down in the finals. They lost to the Pistons. He still got you one. KD just got swept. He just got swept.
That Kobe in the finals, that was different.
He still got you one.
Yeah,
he still got you one. He still got you one. KD just got swept.
The Lakers had plenty of guys that throw at KD. If you playing that team against that team, they had plenty of guys.
And let's be real. You're not going to stop KD. All you can do is throw people at him and slow him down. You can't stop no one's going to stop Kobe. No one's going to stop KD. No one's going to stop Shaq. Like, it's ridiculous to think someone's going to go and lock these guys up. No one locks down.
Well, wait a minute though, Tony.
I just saw Tatum
right.
KD.
And guys can get slowed down. I mean, Kobe averaged 22 a game.
I said they can slow him down.
You can slow a guy down.
Yeah, no one's stopping them. Is what I said.
You can absolutely slow those guys down.
Yeah.
Hey, Fluent, to me, you stop somebody if you hold them under their average in the series. If you hold a dude under their average, you stop.
Yeah, even if they do score their average, if they got to work, they shoot a lower field goal percentage. Like, they got to work extra hard, and then they can't play defense and stuff. Like, there's other ways. Even if they score their average,
but see,
if you make it hard on them, and it screws up the rest of the offense because they're so focused on getting theirs. Hey, you stopped them. You did a good. You slowed them down.
I'm glad you pointed out about KD. I don't understand why they so hooked on KD, bro. Because if you think about it,
overrated.
What has he done without the Warriors? Let's think about this. Let's really think about this real quick, Ron, y'all. What has KD done as far as winning without the Golden State Warriors? What has he done? He won 1 series since he left Golden State. 1. What has he done outside of that? What has he won outside of Golden State?
You forget that he did spend 9 years in Oklahoma City. Did you forget that?
He's been on the top 5 team his whole career, except for the first 2 years in Seattle.
But he was in Oklahoma City not only was he in Oklahoma City for 9 years. I mean, he did win the league MVP. They did go to the Western Conference Final.
He was on a top 5 team every single year in the league outside of years he played in Seattle when he first came in the league. And he won nothing except for with the Warriors.
Okay.
The Warriors, he ain't win nothing.
So they weren't better than that Miami Heat team. We all know that. They weren't better than them.
They were.
No, they weren't. They got smoked. No.
Come on.
I'm all ears to hear this. I'm all ears to hear this.
I'll tell you why they was better. I'm gonna tell you why they was better. I'm gonna tell you
to it.
Because the Dallas Mavericks came and smoked them dudes
What
out.
that got to do with anything? What does the Dallas Mavericks have to do with anything?
Bro, all them games, listen, all them games was close. KD didn't close the deal. Down the stretch of them games, KD did not close the deal in the NBA Finals.
And you know why he didn't close the deal? The reason why he didn't close the deal is because he was playing against a better player on a better team. You're telling us that Dallas Maverick team that the Miami Heat beat, that's the same team the next year? They're not the same team. Roles were reversed. Guys came back better. James came back better. Dwayne Wade was able to take a step back and let James be the guy. Chris Bosh was better.
That was the biggest change right there.
You can't tell me that Miami Heat team from 2010 that lost to the Dallas Mavericks is the same crew that came back. That's no way you're selling that logic. No way you're selling that.
It ain't my fault your king folded in the finals.
What does that have to do with anything? That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Nothing. What you're doing is
chill. They lost because LeBron James didn't play normal. If he played his normal game, they win that series.
And then what happened? And I'm glad.
I'm disputing that. No one's disputing that, right?
Nobody.
Nobody's disputing that.
Not only is nobody disputing that, the Dallas Mavericks series has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now. Ticket.
I'm saying
nothing.
KD had a much more talent.
I think Ticket's saying KD's overrated. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? KD's overrated?
Yeah, he is.
Okay. All right, I agree with you.
But hold on.
I agree with it.
Wait a second.
And LeBron is too.
Let's get back to the original point, though. Because we're not talking about what KD did in OKC. We're talking about KD on the Warriors.
Right.
The Splash Bros with Draymond Green and KD, do they stand a chance in a 7-game series to beat the three-peat Lakers, Shaq, Kobe in the game?
I don't think so.
Do they? Hold on.
In how many games?
Do they stand a chance? Hold on.
In how many games do they lose?
Stand? Of course, they stand a chance because if they get hot, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But no, it's the Lakers.
Max.
Don't say that. Hey,
Lakers
don't say that. Fluent. Don't disrespect the Lakers like that. First of all, the dude that y'all praise and call a Hall of Famer would have got smoked. Draymond Green would have got obliterated off planet Earth.
Agreed.
He got obliterated. So
Definitely wouldn't have been guarding Shaq.
He wouldn't guard Shaq, that's for sure.
He definitely wouldn't have been guarding Shaq.
Him, Looney Tunes.
He'd be guarding Rick Fox.
That would have been. Shaq would have averaged 45.
He decimated front line. So I'm telling you right now, $100 million man would have got smoked in that series. Looney Tunes would have got smoked in that series. Any other big man you threw up, Shaq would have took so many fouls in that series. It would have been funny.
Who's Looney Tunes? No, I'm Looney Tunes.
Kevon Looney.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't. That's a bad matchup. That's an actual bad matchup for the Golden State Warriors. It would have been. They probably would have been 5 games. Yeah, it'd probably been 5 games.
I give him. The reason I give him 6. The reason I say 6
because they can shoot.
Right, 5 or 6. I give him 6 because listen, they also went through the playoffs, only lost 1 game. If KD and Curry get and Clay, they can get hot. So they steal a couple at home. That's why I give them 5-6 games.
Bro, how you gonna get in that rhythm, Fluent, when the Lakers slowing you down, throwing it to Shaq? When the Lakers slow the game down, that take the Warriors out of everything they want to do.
No. Like I said, maybe I'm being too generous. 5-6 sounds right. Like I said, they could get lucky.
I think the reason why
Fluent know the truth, man. Ain't nobody was stopping Shaq. That dude.
Nobody was stopping Shaq.
That dude, y'all call a Hall of Famer.
As long as Kobe is the smart Kobe who plays with Shaq, they're unstoppable. If he gets into one of his, let me shoot everything and shoot.
Well, he was in those.
For the most part,
he wasn't in those days. As long as he's that Kobe.
Kobe played the smart game for the most part.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. As long as he's that guy, I agree with you.
It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. You're the player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.